Hello? Can you guys hear me? Maybe. Oops. I always mess this up. Live chat. You can hear me? Is that a yes? Yes, yes, yes. Good. Okay. Can you hear the vacuum in the background? I'm at Kurt's office like I was last time, but the last time we did this, what the heck? Last time we did this, I did it on a weekend. Okay, good. But I'm doing it today. It's Friday. I'm doing it before people come to the office, but apparently this is when they clean. So he was just in here with the vacuum, like right here. And I was like, please, please. But okay, how are you guys? It's been a while. It's been a long while. Hi, Canada. What is going on? Hold on. Gosh, it sounds like someone is outside of my window, but there's no way because I'm on the top floor. Yes, I am in Seoul. It is a beautiful spring day. Yeah, since we last talked, I'm feeling wiped out. The reason why this was pushed back so much, and thank you so much for being understanding, is I went to Europe. Then I had cherry blossom season here, so that was chaos. So to be honest, like I'm impressed by how much of the book actually stayed with me because I read this in January. I can't believe that I remember, but what did you guys think? Star rating, if you could give it out of 5. I saw most people were like solidly 3 because it was low stakes. Like I feel like I give book stars for the emotions that it pulls from me, and usually those emotions come from, I don't know, like a big betrayal or like tragedy happening or something. But can you give like a cozy book a 5 out of 5? Mostly 4s. Low stakes is the attraction, yes. Actually, getting ready for this live stream, as I was refreshing my memory, I watched this interview with the author, and once we're done, I'll link it down below. But it was just this super cute little podcast, and things that I took away from it that I wanted to chat about. He wrote this with the idea, like as a joke, that he wanted to make it a Hallmark movie that takes place in the Forgotten Realms. And then he was inspired by home renovation shows and baking shows. So like he wanted that level of stakes as like he literally said the Great British Bake Off. So he talks a little bit about how a book can have drama, but it doesn't need to be like a death or, like I said, a betrayal or war or something like that. It can just be as simple as like your oven didn't work or something like that. And I found that to be so sweet. And like that is the drama that so many of us deal with. Like I remember, especially when I was working full time, especially in like a customer service way, like the tiniest little things can just set your whole day off. And so it was nice to read, like to understand that people could be really shaken by like teeny tiny things as well. Yeah, I don't know. That was a really sweet interview. I'm glad you guys, I'm glad. I thought that, okay, these ratings are higher than I thought. So I'm pleased. Hi, everyone. I agree with wanting more scenes with Cal. I think we're gonna break down the characters in a second, but last little takeaways from the interview. He literally is a dad. He has kids, but he sounds like a dad. Like, oh my God, he sounds like a dad. He kind of learned how to write because he was a what's that called? An audiobook narrator. So he said that he learned what writing styles he liked based on how they spoke. And I think I really felt that with the way that he wrote. They were just like normal people conversations. And so I thought that was really interesting. Like, I definitely get inspiration from writing from what I read, but he found it to be really different when you actually read it out loud. Um, yeah, I guess I had just never thought of that before. He also wrote this during COVID when he was craving going to a coffee shop, and he had a favorite coffee shop in his hometown that closed during COVID. And he's very sad about that. But like, that was kind of the inspiration, is meeting and having this kind of second community where you can just show up at a coffee shop and, people you normally wouldn't meet, you all come together. So incredibly cute. And then the last thing is, if you liked this book, and yes, this live recording will be saved. If you liked this and you liked the kind of low stakes, he mentioned a genre, I guess like a subgenre, called progression fantasy. And it's essentially, and when I Googled it, the first thing that came up was a Reddit forum. So I assume there are going to be recommendations there, but it's essentially exactly what Legends and Lattes is, which is like, you watch a character learn a skill, go from 0 to whatever their goal is. And that's what I kind of loved about Legends and Lattes, is because it was so, just like, every chapter was kind of like, okay, we're going to learn about lattes. We're going to add milk coffee to the menu. And something about that progression just did, I don't know, it did something for me. It was almost like reading ASMR. Yes, I craved pastries the whole time. And yeah, like the smell descriptions, everything. Actually, I grabbed some quotes. And yeah, this is like one of the top quotes, is, the combined aromas of hot cinnamon, ground coffee, and sweet cardamom intoxicated her. And as she brewed and smiled and served and chatted, a deep contentment welled up. It was a glowing warmth she'd never experienced before, and she liked it. She liked it a great deal. And it's just like, how can you not just feel so warm? Yeah, I agree with what you're all saying. You drank decaf coffee. That's a very good idea. Yeah, I wonder. So, okay, for people who don't drink coffee, how did you guys feel about it? I feel like even if you don't, like my mom, for example, is maybe allergic to coffee. We don't know, but she can't drink it. And she loves the smell of it though. So she's like sad that she can't drink it. But yeah, I feel like even non-coffee drinkers can understand and love a cafe, So matcha. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't kind of go a little further and talk about like a tea or something. Or did they? And I forgot. I'm not sure. Dirt water. Hater's gonna hate. Yeah, he steals a sip. Mm-hmm. Um, so talking about the characters then, I think you guys already kind of started talking about it, but I'm assuming, it seems so far, the faves are Cal and Thimble. Who are your fave characters from the book? I feel like it's really difficult to hate Thimble, or like not love Thimble. The second they were introduced, I was like, this is my character. Oh, also somebody asked in our Discord, which will always be linked down below. I will edit this once I save it. Someone asked, Hathora, did I say that right? In the Discord asked, I would really like to know if somebody baked thimblets. I need a review. And I was like, was this in the book? Like, did they talk about this? It's not in the book, but somebody called Fantasy Cookery has a recipe for thimblets. It's very obviously just biscotti, but she calls it thimblets. And so, yeah, you can, I'll link that down below as well. But it's called fantasycookery.com/thimblets. Oh, your edition has a recipe in the back? What? Where did you buy a physical, or did I just not notice it? I got my copy from the library, which is why I'm not holding it right now. But what? You got a thimble recipe? The physical one? Okay, noted. I'm thinking of buying the physical. Also, what do you guys feel, what's it called? The covers? I actually really like the one where they're both on it. There's like a new, I don't know which version it is, but the one that's just like blue and just says Legends and Lattes. Your Kindle version has it? What? I personally like the one where it is Viv and Tandri. Oh, it's the Australian cover? Yeah, I like the fantasy cover. It's got this like, and he talked about it in the interview, how he was like raised in the 80s. So he like, that's the kind of vibe that it gave me, very much like, I don't know, retro fantasy, if that's such a thing. He also said, yeah, that's one thing I didn't mention. Speaking of the cover, in the interview, so he wrote this like just kind of as a joke. He was doing, it wasn't nano, what's that, like November novel writing month. It was something like that. I don't know if it was officially that, but he wrote this for that, like just to see if he could do it. And he literally was hoping he could, quote, make enough money to pay back my cover artist. And look at him now. I think is it a New York Times bestseller? It's definitely at like the top of the charts. It was self-published, now it's trad published. But yeah, he was like, gee, I hope I can just pay the person who drew that now famous, gorgeous cover. I just think that's like so sweet. Yeah. So anyway, we have established that we love Cal and Thimble. And yeah, I do. Yeah. I want to actually listen to some of his audio recordings. Because like I said, he was a audiobook narrator. And he says in the interview that he really likes fantasy romance. He thinks that those characters are always really fun to read, but he doesn't get asked for those. He usually gets just like high fantasy or something like that, where he has to play like, and he says play, like it is acting, which I find really cool. He has to do the voice of like kind of an annoying man, is what he says. So we should petition to get him some cozy and fantasy romance jobs because he wants them. Okay, first off, we have Viv. I personally really liked Viv from the get-go. I thought that she was a pretty good, I don't want to say blank canvas, but like she wasn't a super complicated character. I think that like each character just kind of had their personalities, and there wasn't, I don't know how to explain it, but like we just knew who Viv was, and Viv was Viv from when we met her till the end of the book. And I really liked that consistency. Viv is solid. I would say so. So I believe this is like one of the first sentences in the book, but it says, after 22 years of adventuring, Viv had reached her limit of blood and mud and bullshit. An orc's life was strength and violence and a sudden, sharp end. But she'd be damned if she'd let hers finish that way. It was time for something new. And I love that she chose to live her own life. And I love that she was clearly so taken by something she had on her travels. Um, Sorry, I'm trying to read at the same time. Yes, she was all about rebirth while still not forgetting her past. Um, she was simple, but a clear history and a clear goal. She has integrity. Yeah, like literally, I think she just had these tiny moments of self-doubt, especially when it came to the stone and how she thought her success was only related to the stone. But I feel like no matter what you go through, like even if you're a badass orc that's like had 22 years of adventuring, like if you go into a new situation and you're really putting yourself out there and trying something that no one's tried, you're gonna feel insecure. And so I loved that she was such a very, very strong character, quite sure of herself, but like she had these moments of weakness and she needed that community. And I think it was nice to see that, no matter how strong you are, no matter what you've been through, there's always going to be that need, for a community. Especially when, I mean, she had a crew, but it seemed like they were very kind of individual people. Um, I really loved that. A sweet vulnerability, exactly. I don't really know how else to describe it. Like, so much about what I like about this book is indescribable for me. Um, I also really like, where was it? Where was the quote? Oh, so then from Viv, going into Cal, I really liked this. I appreciated that this book was like saying a lot, but saying it really subtly. And mainly about like how you treat other people, right? So this one is, he's introducing himself and he says, Calamity. His own calloused paw was swallowed by hers. Her eyes widened. It's a hob name, he said. You can call me Cal. And then she says, whichever you like best. I don't need your name to suit me. And like little details like that, I think it first of all tells us a lot about Viv. But I think it also is just a really good philosophy to have, especially living here. I live in Korea, and a lot of people have like a English name, mainly because people outside of Korea have difficulty pronouncing Korean names, or I mean, not even to mention, chosen names or name changes, or even when it comes to pronouns, something like that. Um, just saying something that little, whichever you like best. I don't need your name to suit me. Um, Pretty much immediately sold me on the book. And I think it just kind of continued where there's the book, they just showed us ways that you can be firm, or you're owning a business, and so you need to make things work, and my issue for everything is like, when it comes to a business, it always revolves around money, right? And I think Viv also struggled with that, is like charging people and asking them for help and stuff like that. But it kind of taught you ways that you could do that but still be really caring and loving, and I don't know, still inspire that community. So yeah, just like sprinkled throughout this, there were just so many. And then I'm looking at Goodreads on the quotes. And so right after that quote where I'm like, oh, look at Viv. She's doing so great. She's so nice. The next quote that everyone liked is, shut up, you insufferable shit weasel. And I don't remember who said that. I don't remember someone being called an insufferable shit weasel, but I really like that. So yeah, then we have Cal, the handyman. Now that I know that it is definitely based off of, yeah, apparently someone was called a shit weasel. If somebody can look that up and tell me who did that, I'd be grateful. But yeah, apparently insufferable shit weasel was used. Now that I know that this was based off of like the inspiration of a Hallmark movie, Cal is such a Hallmark movie character, this like rugged, quiet, doesn't show his love kind of character, and then he shows up with the Legends and Lattes sign and everybody cries. Like that was just such, from beginning to end, such a Hallmark movie move. I really loved him. In my life, I don't think I have like anybody in my family or in my life that's like a very like Cal, kind of a keeps his emotions inside character, but I love reading about them. I don't know how I'd feel in real life. I feel like I might think that Cal hates me, and I would, unlike Viv, be very worried about asking him for stuff. But I'm glad that Viv saw through his little facade and kept working with him, because yeah, he was great. I think in the Discord, everybody liked Cal the most. So Cal's love language, create new things for Viv's Cafe. Exactly. Yeah, that was so cute. And then I think, do we meet Tandri is the person we meet next then, right? Um, and we had a question. So first of all, just in the comments, what did you think of Tandri? And in Discord, Tiffanel is their username. Just asked, did y'all like the portrayal of Tandri as a succubus? And what did you think? Also, for some reason, Tandri makes me think of Inej. That's interesting. I think that she was like kind of like Inej, a little quiet, but like very much a badass. Like she's not afraid to ask for people to pay or order Fimblets or try things or just not sit for hours and not order anything at the table. I feel like Inej, if like Kaz and Inej opened a coffee shop, yeah, I think Inej would like walk over with her knife and be like, order something. Yeah, so I agree, Tina. I also don't understand why she had to be a succubus. I get that like it's a fantasy setting and everyone needs to be something, but why did she have to be a succubus? And it wasn't even like used that much, you know? Like I felt like, how do I explain this? It's so difficult trying to speak and reading these comments. I felt like it was weird that it was mentioned just a couple times. And if like you either are going to go all in or not at all, because there's a point where Viv, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but Viv kind of like wonders if what she's feeling about Tandri is because she's a succubus. And I think that there's like a couple times where Viv is like, ooh, sorry, like your succubus, you know, attraction is messing with me or something. But like it was very, I don't know. Somebody said, KT said, I think she was a succubus to keep the theme of not judging people for what they like, or he wanted to make a point about prejudice because everybody has a clear vision of succubi. Oh, or that she could connect with Viv about being / feeling like an outsider. First impression / identity. People are first afraid of Viv because she's an orc, and then there's presumption surrounding Tandri as a succubus. Okay, then yeah, I definitely agree with that. I feel like perhaps he could have chosen something a little different because yeah, I did definitely like expect when succubi, I suppose, are mentioned. Especially when it's like a male fantasy writer, I'm always like, uh-oh, you know, where's this gonna go? But the fact that he like didn't use that in any way, I guess left me confused more than anything. But yeah, oh, Tandria is literally a foil for Viv, a succubus who didn't want sex and an orc who didn't want to fight. So yeah, okay, you guys are changing my mind. But yeah, I do feel like Tandri People are saying that she was like a little blank. I have no idea what you're talking about. This is so funny without context. Oh my God, Murray. What's it called? Yeah, I feel like Tandri, I don't remember her as much. Like a lot of people previously said that she was kind of a bland character. And for every other character, like for Cal, for Thimble, Pendry, the singer songwriter guy, every other character I have like at least one scene that I really remember. But for Tandri, I kind of don't. She's the character that faded the quickliest. Carrie, come on, the quickest from my mind, and I don't quite know why that is. Again, I read this in January, so yeah. But yeah, I get the feeling that that's. Oh, she did comfort Viv after the fire, right? But I don't know. I feel like based on what I read in the Discord, like that's kind of the vibe that people got. But I wonder if he'll continue this, if we'll see Tantry again. In terms of if you want to join the book club, because people in the live chat are lost. Hello. I always have my Discord linked in my what's it called? My description box. So it's there. You can join our book club there. It is free. Yeah. Also, yes, I did wake up at 5:45 for this. So oh, Mimi said that is what Tandri wanted, to fade and to not be noticed. Well, she unfortunately, I mean, succeeded. And then of course, no introduction, next person, Thimble. We've already talked about them. What a great character. I just love. The second they were introduced, I was like, this is my fave. That was when I really like, for me, coffee, when they were making the coffee, I was like, oh, okay, like I get this, whatever. But the second they started talking about baking, that's when I was like, I smell this book. I can feel the warmth of the oven. It was great. I also appreciated that Thimble, I don't know, like I strive to be like Thimble, where they asks for what they need. I'm very much like, I related to Thimble because they're like quiet, want to be behind the scenes, just have this passion and like do their thing. But being a kind of quiet person, I'm not going to be like, I need another oven, or I need this, or I need that. And to see like quiet little Thimble still be able to be like, hey, I need this. I was like, oh, maybe one day I could do it too. We also mentioned Pendry, which was at first I like didn't really get him, but I appreciated having a character that was sort of like, we had this kind of found family, strong cast of characters, and then just having like one that wasn't completely part of the family, but that was just like still loved and supported. I appreciated that too, because I'm the kind of person that I always think people are too busy. I always think like I am really bad at maintaining really strong friendships or like found family. Like I never want to take up too much space. So even in like my local coffee shop, where I'm technically a regular and people like they know my name and all this stuff, I'm not going to like start conversations with my baristas. If they talk to me, for sure, but like I don't want to take up their time. So I end up being, I feel like, maybe other people think of me differently, but like I always feel like I'm kind of on the outer circle of a found family. I don't know, I never want to like push into a place and like, you know. And Pendry was like that, where he was like just kind of on the edge of the family, but like he was still such a part of it. He was still so loved and appreciated. Like when he didn't show up a couple times, people were concerned. And even if he like never really talked, he just kind of came in and was like, let me play my song, you know? He was still loved. And I appreciated that the author showed that like those kinds of people are still really important to you, and still really deserve love and support. So if you're a super introvert like me, people still love you and see you, notice your talents, notice when you aren't around. Actually thinking about it more, yeah, I really like Pendry. I really like Pendry. And then we have like the villain of the story, which we needed, Fennis, I guess, which I mean, whatever, right? To be honest, reading it, I like understood that it needed to have some kind of plot just to give us, you know, a starting point and an ending point. Otherwise, this novel could just go on forever. So I understood why there was like Fennis and the stone and all this stuff, but that was like the least interesting part of the book for me. Like the mob, what? Like, so yeah, I have no feelings towards Fennis. I don't remember him at all. Yeah, why was he even on the quest to begin with? I don't even know why he was there, to be honest. But yeah, so I didn't care. That's the story. What else? Oh, and then just the last for talking about characters. The last character that people were talking about in the Discord was Durius, the gnome. Everyone was basically like, what the hell is up with him? And I looked it up, and I guess in the interview or somewhere, he's basically just like a time traveler, maybe. And I don't know. Let me know if any of you guys play D&D. Like, I feel like this was potentially a callback to D&D, where like sometimes you just have this sort of passing random character just added for like fun or for just one little moment. I think that might have been what he was going for. I appreciated him. Like I didn't care. I felt like that kind of opened the world up to a lot of different things where I feel like Durius, if and when Travis continues to write, I feel like he might be the one character that's like in all the books. Which when is the next book coming out? Actually, and lattes. Is it a sequel or a prequel? What's it called? Books and Books and Bone Dust. Yes, it's going to be a prequel. And is it coming out? Has anyone end of the year? End of next year? End of next year? Yeah, I wonder. November. Okay. Yeah, I wonder if Durius is going to be involved. I'm sure. Like I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it now. He's definitely in it. And then kind of the last Discord thing is from Anarisa, which ties into speaking of D&D. Are there any other modern things you would have liked to see implemented into the world? I love the way coffee was introduced and given a reason to be part of Viv's life, and I think it would have been neat to see more D&D things like sending stones used as a version of cell phones or something. Keep what? Oh, keep it grounded in fantasy, but also relatable to our real life. Am I alone in that? So, can you think of any modern things that could have been done? So they had the coffee. Obviously they had, what was it? Like kind of the coffee house singer songwriter. I don't know. I feel like if they introduced something that was, like, akin to cell phones, I know that Viv would lose hers all the time. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. But, yeah, I enjoyed that, um, having something modern be in and I said this in my review, but, like, there's no reason that this is in a fantasy world. Like, as he said, this is based off of a Hallmark movie. This could have taken place in just, like, a random small town in the middle of, you know, USA. Um, but the fact that they made it fantasy, just something about that was just, oh, they could host speed dating. Oh my god, they could. The magical rock, the Scalvert's stone, or maybe, yeah, the gnomes have a gadget for everything. Yeah, I don't know about the prequel. Is it about her? Is it about Viv? I thought that it was about someone else. Let's see. Oh no, I guess it is about her. It is. Okay, I'm sorry if this is boring, but I'm gonna tell you guys what it's about. So it's called Bookshops and Bone Dust. There is a cat and a dog on the cover, along with Viv, so that's very exciting. When an injury throws a young, battle-hungry orc off her chosen path, she may find that what we need isn't always what we seek. What is it? So her career isn't going as planned. She gets wounded and she has to recuperate in the sleepy beach town of Merk. And she spends her hours at a bookshop in the company of its foul-mouthed proprietor and a suspicious traveler in a gray. Oh, wait, no. Sorry, I'm like, this is a live reaction to me reading this. She says, a suspicious traveler in a gray. Why can't I read? A suspicious traveler in gray, a gnome with a chip on her shoulder, a summer fling, and an improbable number of skeletons prove Merc to be even more eventful than Viv could have ever expected. So, yeah, I don't know. I was kind of hoping it would be different characters. You guys are right. I'm worried that it might change things, but I don't know. I kind of have faith. Thimble fan art. Ooh, actually, I will link it down below, but I believe Travis posted it. Somebody made official Legends and Lattes pins, like enamel pins, and they're actually great. And I'm pretty sure there's a thimble one. Let me see. Legends and Lattes enamel pins. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, guys. It's a Kickstarter, but it already, wow, absolutely made its goal. And yeah, there's Thimble in his apron drinking a coffee cup. And then there's a sword. There's like a Legends and Lattes like emblem. I don't know how to say it. There's also like super cute bookmarks. What the heck? Yeah, I will put this Kickstarter down below, but literally if you just Google Legends and Lattes enamel pin, Thimble is so cute. Ah, um, yeah, this was fun. I appreciate that this, like I said in the beginning, this like progression fantasy, cozy fantasy, yeah, low stakes, with a little romance element. I like that this is happening. And I wonder, I was gonna try and look this up before the live, but I ran out of time. But I remember when I was in a couple of my film classes, it's very obviously media is a reflection of what the audience, the general public needs or wants at the time. So, and it kind of just shows like what is the culture of the time. And so, you know how we went through like in the maybe like 10 years ago, in like that decade, we had all of these superhero movies. Like, why did we have a rise in superhero films? It's kind of because that, whether we were feeling helpless or we felt like we needed a hero that could just solve things, when there's so much war, so much terrible stuff going on, we needed to believe that there were still like good people and that the good guys would win. Stuff like that. So also with, in the 80s, why was everything kind of fantasy? Yeah, why did we go suddenly? I mean, even not to mention My Chemical Romance and everything that I do, but like the rise of emo was absolutely kind of like a young person's response to that like total uncertainty and like all the deep emotions we had to go through, like post 9/11, Iraq war, all this stuff. So it's interesting that usually like media kind of goes to a dark place. So like emo stuff, or like even when I was in high school, it was a lot of like horror. We got like The Grudge and The Ring and Saw and all of this stuff. But for us to suddenly go the rise of cottagecore, the rise of this kind of cozy fantasy. I think that's interesting. I'd love to see if anybody has written about that yet. Like, obviously, there's stuff written about previous kind of trends in media. But yeah, I wonder, do we just kind of need to be held? Are we craving that coziness? Because I didn't know that I needed it until I read it, and it was very nice. So, oh my gosh, yeah, I heard about that, a Twilight TV show. I'm not on board. I'm not on board. Yeah, there's definitely still dark stuff, but I feel like just in the mainstream, like what are we going for? Like even like the action movies that are a little bit gory or stuff like that, they're all kind of done in like a tongue-in-cheek way, you know? There's still like a humor to it, a lightness to it. So yeah, and I do think definitely it's related to COVID. I think we all kind of realized how much we need each other. I think before COVID, myself included, like we all kind of saw ourselves very much as individuals, and even if the world burnt down, it's fine. I've still got me. And I really realized how much like my coffee shop, how much I loved just going in, sitting down, saying good morning to my barista, really mattered to me. So yeah, I do think that like lightness and everything is definitely pandemic related. And escapism, 500%. Good night, good morning, goodbye. Um, yeah, no, escapism 100%. That's why I fell back into reading so hard, and that's why I am okay with A Court of Thorns and Roses, because that was really like one of the first times I had gone through like something pretty traumatic and then COVID. And I felt like reading Six of Crows and then reading A Court of Thorns and Roses, it was like the first time I felt like I had fully exited my reality. And like it turned off my brain. Like I forgot the world around me existed. And so, yeah, that was definitely like incredibly important. So, yeah, I feel like a lot of people picked up knitting, which is great. I did crochet because I could only use one needle. But yeah. Do you guys have any ideas for the next book club, or do you have anything that you wanted to talk about for Legends and Lattes that I didn't kind of touch on? I feel bad. I can't really talk about specific scenes off the top of my head because I don't remember them. How do we join the book club? The book club is linked in the description box, not of the live video right now because I haven't updated it, but in all of my videos on this channel, you can go and it'll say like Discord link. Boom. You can join that way. Balance of reading iPad versus Kindle. Which one do I use at home? I've been using, I actually have it with me. I've been using my Kindle more just because yes, links always in the description box. Always check them. I put so many links for my main channel and I put like so much work and time into it and so many people miss it. So yes, always check the description box. Thank you. Yeah, I've been using my Kindle a lot more. I made a video actually coming out in 15 minutes. I have a reading vlog for you. And because of that, I read on my iPad just because it's easier for me when I'm filming to like show you stuff on my iPad. But yeah, I've been reading on my Kindle a lot more simply just because I can like put it in my bag and run off and all this stuff. So that's me, Kindle. I'm glad that you read Gilded Wolves. I'm so glad you read Gilded Wolves. And do I reread books? I used to. I have a couple that I reread, but to make a video on it, I'd need to think a little harder. I haven't, because I have so many books that I'm like, my TBR is so long. The last time I reread a book, I was rereading Sorcery of Thorns for this book club. But yeah. You're starting the Outlander books. Good luck. You bought all of them? Okay. It took me so long to read the first one. The first book's like 800 pages. So if you bought them all, you probably bought like 10,000 pages worth of content. So good luck to you. The cloisters. I have a video on the cloisters and I really didn't like it. So if you want to hear me talk about how I didn't like the cloisters, I apologize, Mimi. I have a video. It's I read 3 Dark Academia books. So it's there. Oh, yeah, is that the Frugal Wizard's Handbook? That's Sanderson, right? Is that Sanderson? I think it is. Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that as well. So yeah, on the Discord, no, the book club is free. It will remain free. Oh, hold on. I've got someone coming in. 안녕하세요. 저 회의 중인데요. 네, 감사합니다. Sorry, he wanted to mop. We'll wrap this up in a couple minutes, but oh no, I lost my train of thought. Well, anyway, tomorrow. Yeah. Discord, completely free, will always be free. I don't want to make people pay to read books when you're already going to have to buy the book, probably, maybe. And what else? We are going to do the voting on the Discord. So, what's it called? I'm going to put, kind of like last time, I think, I'm going to put a Google form where you can ask. Discord is linked down below, where you guys can submit what you want. And then I will pick the top 5 most voted for, and then we can vote on those. And also, like, the last 2 books have been fantasy, and I know that I mostly read fantasy, so I know that if you watch this channel, most of what you guys read is fantasy. But definitely don't hesitate to put anything else. Like, recommended, I would love to read Yellowface. I don't know if I'm the best person to host a live discussing it, so maybe I could ask somebody else to join me on that. It's just been really, really hectic. But yeah, literally like any genre. Please recommend it. Also, if I have read it before, don't worry. That's actually quite helpful for me because then I can spend the month thinking about what we're going to talk about instead of trying to read a book. So yeah, that will be linked down below as always. So I'm gonna, when I update this, yes, I will save this live. I will add the link for the interview, for the Thimblet recipe, for the Kickstarter, and for our Discord. Okay. Yeah, I would love to do it with Cindy if she ever stops traveling. She is never in one place anymore. um, but yeah, no, we'll see. Definitely leave whatever you want to read down below, and also on the Discord. I don't know if anybody's really used it yet, but I do have a section for buddy reads. So even if you don't, if we don't choose the book of your choice for this main book club, you can still find people who might want to read it with you, and you can start like a little chat room together and read with maybe 2 or 3 people, 4 or 5 people, you know? So, oh, good, it is being used. Great. I feel bad because I forget to check Discord. Like this past month has just been insanity, as I mentioned, like with all my travel and stuff. So, thank you guys. I mean, biggest shout out to my moderators who are so good. But also just thank you guys for being really excellent humans on the Discord. I never feel worried that there's going to be something that goes wrong, you know? There's not going to be fights or something like that. Everybody has always been really respectful, and like even if there's I don't know, like if people are unsure about something that is said, instead of yelling or fighting, they always ask for confirmation, like, could you explain this in a different way? I don't know, it's just like very wholesome. You guys are very patient and understanding and sweet, and so thank you very much. I was very stressed upon launching this, but I clearly had no reason to worry. So and I'm glad there's like 50 threads. That's amazing. The Discord is free, open. I will never charge for it. I had a Patreon for like a second and it made me uncomfy. I just don't, yeah, I want my content to be free. So yeah, that's that. It'll be linked down below. But anyway, I have a very kind man who wants to come in and mop the office before everybody gets here for work. So I'm going to end the live stream here. But thank you guys as always. I also do not know how the Discord works, Elisa. But if you just join it, there is a section that has a bunch of book club chat rooms. There's one that's spoiler free, and there's one for no spoilers. Wait, what am I saying? Spoiler free, and then one with spoilers. So depending on your reading level, how fast you're reading, where you're at in the book, you can still chat with people in there. It's pretty intuitive. Definitely check it out. I will update this and link it down below. But yeah, and then I'll see you guys in 8 minutes for my, what's it called, reading vlog. I'm reading, everybody asked me to do it, so here I am, The Serpent and the Wings of Night. So definitely check it out. I also am talking about a reading slump that I've been in, a book that I really didn't like that you guys also recommended. So a little bit of tea there, but I hope that you enjoy. I had fun filming it. And yeah, I will catch you guys next time. I gonna be real honest about next month. I don't know. I think we should pause it for 1 month because and yes, the video will be spoiler free. The next video will be spoiler free. Because actually I'm going to Japan next week, going for a week, and then my parents are coming to visit. So until about late May, I'm going to be really busy. So if you guys don't mind, if we could take a little break You can do like buddy reads if you want to. But in terms of like a live stream full book club thing, let's start it at the end of May. Maybe in about a month's time, we can vote. Yeah, I very much appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for being understanding in how long this month went as well. True. Or we could pick what to read and you guys just have more time to read it. Either way, I'll ask on the Discord. All that will be there. And yes. So if you want normal day of my life vlog, I have an entire channel for that. It's called Carrie Cakes. It's always linked in the description box. That was my main channel. It's my first channel. It's my bigger channel. You can check that out. So many vlogs. But okay, I should let him clean. I should leave before all of my husband's coworkers get here. And I'll see you guys later. So see you on the Discord. I'm going to update the stream. Thank you so much for being here. How do I end this? Where's my cursor? Okay. Bye. Maybe. Okay. Bye.